got the afternoon, you got this room for two. One thing I've left to do, discover me, discovering you. And if you want love, we'll make it. Swim in a deep sea of blankets. Take all your big plans and change them. This is bound to be a while. Your body is a wonderland. Your body is a wonderland. I'll use my hands. Your body is a wonderland. Hey, Drew James here from LearnGuitarInLondon.com. I hope you're having a great day. This song has been requested a few times in the past, and I found myself a nice easy way of teaching you how to play it. The original is dropped down, so the thickest string is down tuned. Now, to get around that, we're just going to grab a capo and put it on the 3rd fret. And what it does is it actually makes playing the song a bit easier. So if you're like me and you just want to have a little sing and play along somewhere, and you don't really want to be down tuning and learning the sort of stretches with your fingers, then grab a capo, stick it on the 3rd fret, learn these chords. Let's get started. Before I start this lesson, please subscribe to my channel. I upload 2 new lessons every week. It'd be great to have you around for some more tutorials. Always acoustic, always taught with patience and understanding, and I always show you the parts that most people find the hardest when they're learning guitar, and I do that in great detail. It's one of my things. Now, let's start this tune. So, it's quite simple what you're actually doing with your left hand. You're making a few chords, so I'm just going to show you those chords. It won't take long for me to show you these. There's 6 strings on the guitar. Eddie, 8, Dynamite, Goodbye, Eddie. This is the 2nd fret. Technically it's not because my capo's on the 3rd fret, but with the capo in relation to it, this would be 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. Now, you're starting by putting your index finger on the 2nd fret on the D string, Eddie 8 Dynamite. Your middle finger on the G string, and your pinky finger on the 3rd fret on the B string. Okay, so that's your first chord. And that is also, we're going to change that to a D. Okay, so the D, notice what I did there. I left my ring finger held down on the 3rd fret on the B string. So don't lift that up. You don't need to lift up your fingers each time. In fact, that ring finger is going to stay there the whole time while we make these chords. Then I just put my index on the 2nd fret on the G and my middle finger on the 2nd fret on the E. That's your D. The other chord we're going to need is this. Leave the ring finger there again. Put your index finger on the 2nd fret on the A string and your middle finger on the 3rd fret on the E string. Leave the ring there. It's kind of based on a G. That's the other chord that you're going to need. And that is it for the time being. So really easy. Now let's look at the chord progression. We're going to start with a D. Then we're going to go to this chord, the first chord I taught you, which is A sus4. Then we're going to go to G. Then we're going to go back to A sus4. So we go D, change A sus4, change G, change A sus4, change, round in a circle till it becomes natural, not very difficult with some practice. I should start singing all my instructions, brilliant. So while we've got the D there, we're now going to start talking about this hand, this other camera. There's a reason I have this other camera here, and it's not just to make my lessons look even more awesome. It's to help you with your right hand. So there's a fingerstyle pattern that we need to learn when we're playing this to make it sound a bit more John Mayer-y, okay? So we're going to play our thumb on the D string, and then our index and middle finger are going to pinch, which means pull 2 strings together on the G and the B string. Okay, so we've got thumb pinch, pinch, thumb pinch, pinch, thumb pinch, pinch. I'm going to do that again slowly. Apologies for the noise outside. We've got some Harley riders outside our place. So it's D. There's your D. So get used to doing that, and as soon as I've done the flick, I'm putting my fingers back on the G and B string to mute them. Then I'm playing again. So I'm not going, I'm going. that gives it that short sound on the first pinch that we're looking for, that makes it sound even more like the G. So let's do that now with the other chords. We've got D, then moving chord to your A sus4. The bass note for this, because it's an A, is the A string. But the pinch is exactly the same, index and middle on the G and the G and the B string. So we've got D, A, then to the G, so just bring your middle finger up to the 3rd fret. You don't really need this index down, to be honest. Do this time bass note on the thickest string. Notice I'm always anchoring this index and middle here. So we go D, A sus4, G, and then finally back to A sus4. Thumb on the D string, thumb on the A string, thumb on the E string, thumb on the A string. And we just do that round in a circle a few times. So D, A sus4, G with pinch, A with pinch. And this is what's happening in the verses. We got this afternoon, the afternoon. You got this room for two. D and A sus4, G. Discover D, A sus4, G. And then that goes around again. Now I didn't do this in the beginning of my video, but there's another, those of you who know the song really well will know. 1 mile to every inch of your skin like porcelain. I don't know the singing that well, so I won't torture your ears with that. So that's your chord progression for the verses. Now you'll hear this obvious change where it goes, and if you want love, we'll make it. So let me show you what I'm doing there. I'm doing that G, thumb on the bass note up here, as we do with the G, but we're doing it twice this time. So we're going to go, and again. So it's double the amount of time. So if you G, we'll A sus4. That's your change, all right? So A sus4 twice. So if you G, you A sus4, swimming at G of A sus4. Take all your G's and A sus4 them. Okay, so that's just G twice, A sus4 twice, and then you do that, how many times? 3 times. And then when you hear him sing, this is bound to be a while. So we go to E minor, so this is a new chord. All you really need to know about this chord is you play your thumb on the thickest string. This index and middle finger can be held down, but really, you're only actually playing open strings because the pinch is these two. So you can hold this down, 2nd fret on the A and the D if you want to. Do that twice. This is bound to. Then we've got an F sharp minor, B, Now, I've thought about how you could make this easier, but there's no real way that makes it sound nice. So it has to be done as a full-blooded bar chord. Press down all the strings on the 2nd fret. Put your ring and pinky on the 4th fret on the A and D string. And you're going to be playing, in fact, really, you can just bar. In fact, that is a way to make it easy. Just do this bar, press down everything, use this other finger to help. Thumb on the top string, and then play index, middle, pinch twice. So we go E minor, F sharp minor, then G, which you've already had, or this chord here. This is bound to be a while. I'll do that again. This is E minor, F sharp minor, G. And then we go to A sus4, and that's when you start to sing Your Body is a Wonderland. So this is bound to be a while. Your body is a. Then you're on to D. Wonderland, A sus4, G. A sus4, D, A sus4, G. So it's a different progression to the intro. So this one is A sus4, D, A sus4, G, A sus4, D, A sus4, D, G. Okay, so that is what you're doing for the chorus. Let's get this chorus done. So this is bound to be a while. Your A sus4, D, A sus4, G. Your A sus4, D. A sus4, G. Your A sus4, D. sus4, G. Your A sus4, D. A sus4, G. A sus4. And then you're back into verse 3, which is just the same thing. D, A sus4, G, A sus4. So there you have it. Nice and simple, okay? You're joining all those parts together. You get your pinch right. To really make it sound like the song, remember to pinch, put your fingers back on the strings, then pinch again, rather than we're going. Hopefully you can really hear a difference if you've got keen ears there, okay? The bridge, which is this, damn baby, you frustrate me. What I like to do is hold down the 2nd fret on the B string, middle finger on the 2nd fret on the G string, and you're just continually going, doing the same pinch, thumb on the A string to hold down to play this, and doing that same rhythm. Baby, you frustrate me. I don't know the lyrics, but it's B throughout the song. And there's a little lead guitar solo and a few little bits, but as we're doing accompaniment, then that is enough. So that's just a little bit to add in. And then once you've done that, your body is a wonderland, you're back into that part again.